Hey there, what's happening? It's Miss Britney from Girls Inc. of Memphis, and welcome to College 101 Part 2. And so in the first part, we talked about how to pick a school. We discussed the different types of schools, and we also discussed the tuition breakdown, how to gain access to certain scholarships. And so today we're going to talk about what happens after acceptance. We're going to talk about like finances, room and board, class schedules, and so stay tuned. So first things first, acceptance. So say you've already applied to the school and you're awaiting an acceptance letter in the mail. Ding dong. What's that? It's your letter in the mail, or ding, email. So what happens after you see the big congratulations? We are excited to let you know that you have indeed gained access into our school. What happens next? What do you do? So in most acceptance letters, I talk about mine from MTSU, there was a list of instructions on what to do and how long you had to accept this offer. And so I went to the website, I followed the instructions, and then I clicked access. Or not access, but accept. And so I was in. So now we're gonna talk about what happens after you're in. What are those next steps? Okay, so we've been accepted into the school of our dreams. Congratulations. What's next? For me personally, it was finances. And so finances meaning how will we pay for school, for room and board, for books? And so do you have money saved up in a savings account that is strictly for you for school? Are you paying out of pocket? These are terms to think about, out of pocket. Or do you have scholarships that you've previously applied for or that are particular to your school that you've just been accepted to? Or will you need federal student aid? So what is FAFSA? It is the free application for federal student aid here in the United States. And what it's used to do, it's completed by current or prospective students. And it's used to determine the eligibility for federal student aid. So will you need to take loans out, governmental loans, to pay for school? Okay, so dwelling options on campus, room and board. Do you want to live on campus or off campus? The costs of these dwelling places, the amenities, are they close to a pool or access to a gym, you know, for off campus? And then on campus, is it close to the rec center, close to the university center? Is it all girls? Is it a co-ed dorm? So many things to think about. Who's gonna be my roommate? Do I want a suite style where it's like 4 of us, or just 2 roommates in a room? Or do I want a room by myself? And definitely the cost of these places. And so that's a lot to think about. Personally, I would recommend staying on campus where you're able to be a part of the community of freshmen who are also on campus. You're all learning together, growing together, creating bonds together, meeting friends and people from all different types of places and backgrounds. And so I think that's a very neat experience. And so yeah, room and board, definitely something to consider. Okay, and so lastly, for part 2 of College 101, the basics of the undergraduate experience, we're going to talk about class schedules. So I believe when thinking about class schedules, the first thing you should think about is maybe, do you know your advisor? And so at MTSU, during it was the freshman, I forgot what it was called actually, gathering, where before school we created schedules, took a tour of the campus, kind of like an onboarding, kind of. We have met advisors, or they were assigned to us. So we knew who our advisors were, and then we'd have picked a major. And so if you have a major picked, cool. But if you're undeclared at the moment, you would probably be recommended to take the general requirements, those courses that everyone has to take no matter what. And so yeah, class schedules. First thing, advisor. Second thing, what major are you picking? Are you undecided, or do you know? And then general requirement classes. I think the pro of having an advisor is you have someone to literally lay it out for you. You don't have to guess. They tell you exactly what you need to take, when you need to take it. So yeah, class schedules wraps it up for part 2. All right, so that wraps it up for part 2. I'm so grateful that you're joining and tuning in to the discussion of college one-on-one, the undergraduate experience, the basics of the undergraduate experience. And so I want to know what kind of research you're doing on your own, if you're excited about school, if you've chosen a different option. We'd love to know. At Girls Inc. of Memphis, I have a few questions for you before we end. What college processes would you like to know more about? I'd be happy to do the research. I'd be happy to let you know. Would you like to know more about financial aid, how to apply, what it looks like, room and board, virtual campus tours, like literally anything. We could figure it out. So thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you for part 3. And if you haven't checked part 1 out, start at part 1, then go to part 2. Well, you're already here now, but then head on over to part 3. So see you soon. Hashtag Girls Inc. of Memphis. Anything you want to share.